In this video, we're going to pull our Photoshop file into After Effects and start to look at our layers and see what happens when we bring a Photoshop document into After Effects and see how we can change up our layers or what's already been built so that we can make some changes and create a really cool motion graphic. Let's jump in and get started. Okay, so I've got a blank After Effects project open. I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to come down to Import File, and I'm going to find my motion graphic that I saved. So here's my motion graphic.psd, and at the bottom here it says here import as. Now it's going to default to footage. I'm going to change that. We don't want the footage. We don't want footage at all. We want to change it to composition. We could retain layer sizes, that's fine. Right now I'm just going to choose composition, and I'm going to leave everything else the same. I don't have anything checked, so I'm not importing a Photoshop sequence. I don't want that. I don't need to create a composition because it's actually going to do it for me. So let's go ahead and click on import. And then we have some options here. Import kind, composition, that's fine. Composition, retain layers, it's kind of redundant because it just asked us this. I'm going to leave it as composition, and I'm going to change, you could say editable layer styles, where you can actually edit some of those properties of those layer styles within After Effects. But for now, I'm going to merge those layer styles into my footage. So it's almost going to like bake them, if you will, into the footage. So I'm going to do that, and I'll click OK. And just like that, in my project panel, I've got my composition that was just created, and there are all of the layers, including the group. It created group 1. Remember, we had a few layers grouped together inside Photoshop. If I come back over to Photoshop real quick, you can see I had a group 1, that had some effects on it, and it had a position, name, and the rectangles were all in group 1. So it saved that information and created a pre-composition in After Effects. Okay, so we'll click on Motion Graphic, open that sequence up, and there is our sequence right here. And it doesn't quite look the same. If you look at the right hand side here, it's missing something. If I jump over to Photoshop real quick, it's missing this cut that I had made. So it doesn't take over it doesn't bring over the masking that you did in Photoshop. So that's one thing to keep in mind. So I might have to fix that. So let's double click on our group 1. And now you can see position, name, and our rectangles here. So let's do a couple things. So on position and name, we're going to make these editable. And this is actually really cool. So we don't have to add our text in here and make all these changes. We could actually just fix this right here because we like the font. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on name here, and I'm going to say create, convert to editable text. And now it's, instead of a PSD file, it's a text file. I'm going to do the same thing to position. Right click on it and say create, convert to editable text. Now you could also choose your layer, go up to layer, go down to create, convert to editable text there. Okay, that's where another way you could do it too. So right click is a shortcut, one of the shortcuts, or you can go to layer, create, and do the same function there. So now, just to prove that I can change this, I'm going to choose name here, grab my text tool, Michael, there we are. Looking good. So you can actually change your text within After Effects just by that. I didn't have to change the font or anything like that. And if I come back up one to Motion Graphic, you can see there's the name and the position right there. So now let's get to animating this and create a really cool fun graphic in the next video. And then we're also going to move that on to the motion graphics side of it and see what we can change up. So I'll see you in the next video.